Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Trashtalk on Battletech. In today's video, Charger. One of the things I love the most about Battletech is that it has a construction system that allows you and even writers themselves to construct battlemechs within a set of well-defined rules. Even within the constrictions of the system, we still saw many good battlemechs being designed for the past few decades. But sometimes, you just get garbage. Charger is one of these garbage. Year 2665, Wells Technologies produced the Charger as a heavy scout mech for the SLDF. The SLDF took one look at the specifications, and said, "What the absolute fuck?" and left Wells Technologies with a pile of debts and thousands of Chargers. And then the First Succession War happened, and guess who bought every last one of the Charger in desperation? That's right, it's the Kuritan. Surprise. We all joked about Steiner Scout Lance. But guess who actually went ahead and used a crapton of actual assault-class scout mechs? The Draconis Combine. Anyway, while Charger was a really bad assault mech, it is still an assault mech, and using it to garrison low-tech worlds such as those in the periphery works pretty well when the worst threat you could find is poorly trained infantry. Oh, and Wells Technologies eventually got bought out by Luthian Armor Works, so that's why you will never hear more about them. Now let's look at its spec. The very first of its model, CGR-1A1. Is basically entirely useless in a front fight with any real opponent. Weighing at 80 tons, CGR-1A1 is powered by a massive LTV-400 standard reactor that weighs about 65% of the mech, giving it a top speed of 86 km per hour. With all its mass spent on its speed, it only has 10 tons of standard armor, making it as armored as some medium mechs. Last but not least, it's also armed with 5 small lasers. So, what the hell do you do with this mech? The short answer is you don't. The long answer is get close and punch people. Look at its name, what does it say? Just don't think and send the CGR-1A1 straight towards your enemies. Either they think it's a threat and start shooting at it, or they don't shoot at it and allow you to punch and kick the crap out of them. You know what's even worse about this mech than its abysmal firepower? 2 of the small lasers are on its hands, so you must not use the 2 Simons if you want to punch people, diminishing its already tiny damage. Thankfully, Charger has loads of variants, so let's see if any of them fixed the problems on Charger. Meet CGR-1A5, which downgrade the engine so it only has a mere top speed of 64 km per hour. In return, it has way more mass available for weapons and armor. 2 SRM-6, autocannon 20, medium laser, small laser, and 5 additional tons of armor. While its ammo won't last long, it's already far better than the original variant by a wide margin, as it has more range and more firepower. None of its weapons are in the arms too. How do you use this? It's a bodyguard unit, just put it somewhere close to a unit that's vulnerable to close-range attack and it's good to go. Next is CGR-1A9, also with downgraded engine. But didn't put a single ton of free mass into the armor. Instead, it all went into LRM-20, more medium lasers, 4 jump jets and way too many heat sinks. Basically, a long-range variant. But it's so oversynced that even when alpha striking everything while jumping at the same time, it won't overheat. Whoever designed this clearly forgot what rapid fire is. CGR-1 Leader is an export model sold to the Capellan Confederation. This Charger is equipped with a large laser and 2 medium lasers, which is mediocre for an assault, but it's far better than 5 Simons. But you must be wondering where is the free mass coming from, because it still has that stupid LTV-400 reactor. Simple, it came from the armor, leaving this Charger with only 5.5 tons of it. The fucking urban mech is better armored than this garbage. Don't use this thing. CGR-SP Challenger, basically just go screw going fast and get a 240 reactor for a slow 54 km per hour top speed. It has maximum protection with 15.5 tons of standard armor, 4 large lasers for excellent amount of firepower with a single medium laser for backup. It also has 28 single heat sinks, that's barely enough to handle the heat from the 4 large lasers. All in all, just play this thing like an awesome, keep firing at something until it gives. Starting with CGR-3K, we will be seeing Charger equipped with advanced technology. The Kuratans desperately want to keep the speed of the Charger, slapped an XL engine upgrade and ferrofibrous armor on it. This not only makes it fast with tons of free weight left, but it also makes it incredibly expensive at 21 millions each. Not only that, it has 5 jump jets too, allowing for some incredible maneuverability from an assault mech. LRM-20 with Artemis 4 gives it a nice long-range barrage, but its main point is still getting close with its 4 medium pulse lasers. Abuse your jump jet with medium pulse lasers at close range, your double heat sink makes it practically heat-free. CGRC basically just slapped a C3 slave into the 3K variant, allowing it to get targeting data to other units in the C3 network. What does this mean? It means if one of the units in the network gets within 3 hexes of an enemy, every single unit in the network can attack said enemy like they are 3 hexes close to, even if they are a whole map away. The enemy still has to be within their weapon range though. Basically, same tactic with the 3K, except now your allies can support you far better than ever before until one guy with ECM ruins your day. The CGR-SA5 is basically an upgraded CGR-1A5 variant. The 320 fusion reactor is replaced with a light version and it has an entire steel frame to support it. To make it even faster without a bigger reactor, it has mask, allowing it to run up to 86 km per hour in short bursts. A LBX-20 autocannon and dual streak SRM-6 launchers give it a massive close-range punch, with 3 ER medium lasers as a nice array of backup weapons. Again, simple to use. Just run straight as something and pummels it. It has 15.5 tons of standard armor, it can handle it. CGR-282 is advanced in some ways. The only advanced technology it has is the ferrofibrous armor, which someone decided to decrease in tonnage to provide the same protection as the original Charger while giving out free mass. You might ask, what did they choose to give this mech some firepower despite it still has that stupid LTV-400 reactor? 1 medium laser and 5 rocket launcher 10. Why? Because people still think it's a good scout mech, so they give it some dumb rockets it can unleash on someone then run the hell out because it only has 1 laser and 2 fists left. If you want expendable rocket launcher platform, there's better thing to place it in than a bloody assault mech. A fucking Archon would have agreed with me. Oh, for fuck's sake. CGR-KMZ, also called as the Kamikaze variant is, well, guess who fucking made this, is a Charger equipped with a 320XL engine for a nice 64 km per hour top speed, along with 6 improved jump jets so it can jump up to 6 hexes away. I'm not exactly a fan of improved jump jets, but an assault mech that can jump that far is nut. 11 tons of light ferrofibrous gives it an okay protection, and it's also equipped with a heavy PPC for long-range headcapping, 2 more light PPC because Kuratans love PPC, 2 multi-missile launcher 9 or MML9 to deal with both long and short-range threat, but in most cases, people use these so they could launch a crap ton of SRM, and finally, a sword. After years of close-range pummeling with Charger, someone finally gave it a sword. A hatchet would be better, but whatever. This thing can handle just about any range, but I would recommend not to have it getting close as it doesn't have the armor to deal with it. CGR-3KR is a Jihad-era refit of the 3K variant, basically the same thing except its armor is now light ferrofibrous and it has more of it for more protections. And its weapon loadout has been changed completely with a snub-nose PPC, a light PPC, 2 ER medium laser, 1 standard medium laser, a ER Simon and finally a standard Simon. You might wonder why it has a variety of laser including 2 types of Simon at once. Well, it has a sword, and triple strength mimer installed. What does triple strength mimer do? Well, when your mech gets hot enough, TSM get activated and make you walk faster and hit harder with melee attack. And because you be less accurate when overheating, this variant also comes with targeting computer. This is a close combat mech, and so, don't ever leave your opponent alone so you can beat them 9 ways to hell. Frankly speaking, you don't need the sword. You should just kick people legs off because you will be dealing a ridiculous amount of damage with it. Oh, and there's one highly experimental variant, CGR-1X1. Someone finally decided that, hey, if we want to make an assault scout mech, we should make the best one ever. This mech is ridiculous. It packed a 400XL engine for maximum speed, but it also has both mask and supercharger, so it has a temporary top speed of 140 km per hour. You do not want this thing charging straight at you. Covered its frame is 12.5 tons of heavy ferrofibrous armor, which is enough to give it maximum protection. A scout would be nothing without its electronic, so the 1X1 gets the best of the best with Bloodhound active probe and Angel ECM the suite to both search and hide from everyone. To protect against missile attack, it has 2 laser AMS which can shoot down missiles but generate tons of heat at the same time, with chaff pod as an own-shot backup. Finally, it has a C3 boosted slave that can work through an ECM field just so nothing will break the C3 network it's in for maximum support. So what does this thing has for weapon? Well, it has a ER large laser, a medium X pulse laser which is far superior to normal pulse laser for its additional range, and a light tag, which is the greatest weapon ever in the entire history of Battletech. Oh, you might think it's just a mere targeting laser. You clearly have not seen the full power of an Arrow 4 barrage from an entire artillery company. This Charger is essentially what the original Charger wanted to be but couldn't, a good heavy scout mech. Just use this like any other Charger, get close and shoot at people, except now you can call in accurate artillery strike. Well, that's all for Charger variants. But the Charger was actually later modified to be an entirely new mech, Two of them in fact. The first one is probably one most people are familiar with, the Automoto Chi, which is a reskin of the Charger with new armament because it still doesn't have a left hand. And then there's the Cudgel, which is a Solaris 7 mech that's more on the showy side than actual practicality. However, it's still far better than the original Charger. As a conclusion, the Charger is frankly a pretty crazy mech that sometimes switches between a heavy scout mech and a fast assault that act more like an oversized heavy. Let your opponents think it's garbage, they will be really surprised at how much carnage this mech could make when it charges. Well, that's all for this episode, and if you want me to review more units in Battletech, just comment below to tell me and I will see you all next time.